We are now 5 days away from PSG hosting FC Barcelona. Barcelona are going to be playing their most important game yet. If Barcelona can get a win at PSG, they're going to be one step closer to having a historic season. And not because I believe that Barcelona is going to win the Champions League, mainly because no one expected for Barcelona to go this far in the Champions League. A team that is young and a team that is under construction. We don't even have to talk about the squad itself, but even financially, we're under construction. No one expected for Xavi Hernández's Barcelona to do this great. I do think that if Barcelona go into the semifinals of the Champions League, it's going to be much more impressive than what Ajax did back in the 2018-2019 season. Yes, I know that maybe Ajax probably had worse players than the Barcelona team that we see today. Maybe yes, Xavi Hernández has better players, but everybody saw this Barcelona team that conceded a lot of goals, that were mentally and spiritually broken. The main talk 3 months ago was about Napoli beating Barcelona, and now we're talking about Barcelona maybe going to the semifinals. So I do want to speak about the starting 11 that we are most likely going to be seeing against PSG, and then talk about the 3 important key battles. So let's start with the starting 11. And it says here, according to Sport, that Ter Stegen, Koundé, Araujo, Cubarsí, Cancelo, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Lewandowski are all expected to start against PSG. The midfield is where decisions still need to be made, such as whether or not Frenkie de Jong should be a starter. Now, there is a really big question mark on whether Frenkie de Jong is going to be starting, but for sure he will feature in the squad. As for Pedri, it has been said, according to Benayyad, that Barcelona wants to take zero risk with Pedri. The club is very cautious regarding his return. Many sources have also claimed that Frenkie de Jong is like 99% ready. He even did part of the training session with the first team. So I do think that even though there is that 50-50 chance on whether Frenkie de Jong is going to be starting or not, I do think that he will. I know that Xavi really wants this win and wants to put out the best possible 11, and if Frenkie is 100% healthy, he should be starting. As for Christensen, it has already been said that he is 100% going to be ready, he'll be fully fit, and he will be in the starting 11. So now we are having a better idea on what our 11 is going to look like. It's not really difficult to pick because throughout the whole season, Xavi Hernández has really gone for a very specific starting 11 every time we do have to face a tough opposition. And this is what I do think the 11 will look like. Ter Stegen will be in goal, Koundé, Araujo, and Cubarsí and Cancelo will be in the back line, with Andreas Christensen, Frenkie, and Gundogan in the midfield, and then up top we will have Rafinha as a left winger, Lewandowski as a striker, and Lamine Yamal as a right winger. This is possibly the strongest 11 that Barcelona can put out this season. Even if Pedri is 100% healthy, I think that there is no room for him in the 11, mainly because Gundogan is just too good, which makes sense because Gundogan is what Pedri is today. And when you add the experience, the maturity, the goals, and the assists, that is what Gundogan is. And that is why Gundogan deserves to start as the number 8 for Barcelona this season. Aside from the starting 11, I do think that Felix will get his chances. Same thing goes for Fermin Lopez, Sergio Roberto, Ferran Torres. They will get their chances. It's quite possible that we could see Joao Felix come in for Rafinha, Fermin Lopez coming in for Frenkie de Jong, and Gundogan will drop as a number 6. Sergio Roberto can possibly come in for maybe Andreas Christensen, if Xavi really wants to. Ferran Torres can also come in for Lamine Yamal. The 2 players that I just don't see playing will be Pedri and Vitor Roque. Xavi has shown enough on why Vitor Roque is not going to be getting a lot of minutes. It is because Lewandowski is delivering. He's very important. Lewandowski this season is immovable, and if Vitor Roque wants to have any chance of playing against PSG, he would have to play on the left wing, and I don't think that there is any room for Vitor Roque to play on the left wing because you have Joao Felix and Rafinha. The reason why I don't think that Pedri is also not going to play, not even be in the squad, is because I don't really see any real progression. Like if you were to compare his progression with Frenkie and Christensen, Pedri is like not moving at all. The only thing that we have been hearing on Pedri is that they want to take time, he's recovering fast but not fast enough, they don't want to force anything, and so I don't think that Pedri will play. Frenkie and Christensen coming back is enough. As long as Xavi Hernández can comfortably push Gundogan as an 8, we will be fine. Now let's move on towards the next section of this video, and let's talk about the key battles between Barcelona and PSG. Key battle number 1 will be about Koundé versus Kylian Mbappe. Many of you guys probably wondered why I posted that picture on the community tab on this channel. It was mainly because I was thinking about Koundé versus Kylian Mbappe. Koundé, for sure, has been at the best level this season. I do think that the current Koundé that we are seeing today is the best Koundé that we have seen in his career. The games that he has had against Napoli and against Atletico Madrid really did show just how much of a world-class right back he could be. And I do think that coming up on Wednesday, going up against PSG will be his biggest challenge ever. Like if Koundé is really showing that he is becoming the best right back in the world, show us, right? Show to the Barcelona fans, show to the world why you are the best right back in the world and why no one can take you down, because you are going to be having the biggest challenge, and that is Kylian Mbappe, a former a former teammate coming from the national team. And it's insane for me to say this because 3 to 4 months ago, Koundé was not at his best. But in the recent weeks, he has gained so much confidence, so much motivation, so much physical health. It has been said that the reason why Koundé has been improving so much, it is because he works with a physical trainer individually after every game, just to make sure that Koundé is always feeling strong. And those days of Koundé thinking that he's much better as a center back than as a right back is long gone. And let me tell you guys, if Koundé has an ounce of doubt of him playing in that position, let me tell you this, if Koundé ends up having a good performance against PSG and shutting down Kylian Mbappe, he's going to be like, oh, wait a minute, there's no way I just did this. There's no way I stopped Kylian Mbappe, the best left winger in the world. I did this as a right back? Maybe Xavi Hernández had a point. Like, he's really going to realize just how good he is if everything ends up going in the correct way. It's like saying, like, if you go to a math test and you always thought that you're not good at math and then you ended up passing the math test with like an A+ or A-, you're like, wait a minute, am I really that good in math? I didn't know that. I didn't even try. Maybe I should build my career based off math and major in mathematics. And so in the end, Koundé is going to be having a huge defensive responsibility. And I think that because of that, he will be sitting deeper. I don't necessarily think that he's going to be joining Lamine Yamal as much to make like those overlapping runs or to connect for a 1-2. And that's okay because I do think that when Yamal is by himself, he's capable to bring the game to life on his own. He does not necessarily need another player. Even though I know that it would help, Yamal is somebody who can take down 2 to 3 players by himself, mainly because of his talents. Also, Koundé will not be on his own. Yes, he would have to face Kylian Mbappe non-stop, but another player that will be behind him will be Araujo. Because let me tell you, we are definitely going to be seeing a lot of Dembélé making those crosses from the right wing and into the box for Kylian Mbappe to arrive inside the box and meet that cross. Very similar to the combination of Inaki Williams and Nico Williams. And that's very dangerous because it would be really hard to stop those crosses knowing that Kylian Mbappe can make those really fast sprints inside the box. And Araujo and Koundé are going to have to be very on top of their toes. And let me tell you guys this, right? Because knowing how dynamic Kylian Mbappe is, he can move to the left, to the right, to the center, back and forth. He can do all of those things. And because of that, he is very dangerous. Let's remember that we're talking about the exact same player where he scored 2 goals within a span of like 8 to 10 minutes against Argentina in the World Cup final. Even if you shut him down for 85 minutes, he can show up for just 5 minutes and that's all he needs. Those 2 goals that Kylian Mbappe did score, a lot of it did have to do with him moving in and out, becoming very dynamic, being much more hyperactive. He can do that if he ends up feeling alive. And it's up to Barcelona, and especially with Koundé and Araujo, to make sure that he does not feel alive at all, that they are the boss on the fields, that we take the ball away from him within a span of 1 to 2 seconds. He should not even get a chance to receive the ball and turn his face to the goal. Not a chance. And so that is what's going to lead us to point number 2, Dembélé. Dembélé versus Cancelo is going to be another key battle. If you want to stop Dembélé from being effective, you stop his crosses. Because you and me know Dembélé. His crossing is so precise, it's not even funny. Usually he likes to use his left foot to bring the ball forward into space to take down one of the defenders and then use his right foot to cross the ball. Or sometimes when he has the ball on the right flank, he fakes it with his right foot and uses his left foot to cross the ball. Cancelo is going to have to be very well aware on just how quick Dembélé is and how fast he can distribute those crosses. Like, just think about this. You know how fast Lamine Yamal and Rafinha like making the crosses into the box for Lewandowski? Just think about Dembélé being 2 to 3 steps above what Lamine Yamal and Rafinha could do. And so it's going to be difficult because Cancelo is slower. And so what I expect for Cancelo to do is to block Dembélé's path to the ball and get in front of Dembélé, because he is not going to beat Dembélé on a 1v1 run to the ball. It's just not going to happen. Cancelo has to immediately get in front of Dembélé. So just like Koundé, Cancelo's going to have to make the left back position his. Now what's going to be difficult to predict is that Dembélé has been playing as a right winger, sometimes even behind a front 2. So as a central attacking midfielder, we don't know where he's going to be playing, but for sure he will be playing within the realms of the right wing position. In the end, I want to see Cancelo make those runs into the final third once Rafinha does have the ball, because Dembélé does not like to track back. And even if he does, he's really weak at that. He barely wins 1v1 defensive duels. So literally Hakimi is going to be by himself, and that is what's going to lead me towards the last key battle, and that is between Rafinha and Hakimi. Rafinha is a player where, like, every time I think about him, I just think about a player that gives out his best. Like, to him, it's now or never. Like, when he was younger, he was never the most talented. He was never the player that everybody called one of the best that's coming from Brazil. No one called him the golden boy. No one knew who Rafinha was when he was 23, 24, 25 years old. Maybe, yes, some Brazilian fans, but in the world of football, generally, no one knew who Rafinha was until he was linked to Barcelona. And now Rafinha has this chance to really be an important player for Barcelona. He cannot make no excuses, and he knows that. No matter where he does play, he's going to try his best. And that is why I do think that Rafinha, when he plays on the left wing position, he is now able to bring great results. results because he has been working on it. It's the only opportunity that he has. And in this game against PSG, his main job is going to be to run behind the defense. Hakimi is going to have a big job because I don't see Dembele making any sort of defensive efforts, and I think that Cancelo or Rafinha are going to have to really punish Hakimi over and over again. Rafinha, the main one, because he has the most stamina and he has to make those runs behind Hakimi. Rafinha knows how to make the runs on a defender's blind spot. Like, how do you think Rafinha made that goal against Las Palmas? That is because he made those runs behind the defense and found the long ball from Joao Felix. He's really good at it. And so if Rafinha can do the exact same thing but on the left flank, everything else will fall into place. Once he receives the ball, he can make those crosses into the box where Lewandowski can find the crosses. And so I hope that Cancelo can be used as like bait for Hakimi to step up, come out of position, and for Rafinha to run behind Hakimi. That is the only thing that needs to happen over and over again. As for Lamine Yamal, like I don't even want to mention him because he's gonna do things that are gonna be very unexpected events. He's gonna be taking down 2 to 3 players, bossing the right flank, and that is what you call talent. With Rafinha, it's different. Certain things need to happen in order for him to be successful. He cannot do it on his own. He's going to be needing Cancelo, and we can make it work. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.